and said, this guy hasn't paid his fucking dues. How dare they expect me to job for him? Sure, I've jobbed for everybody else, but I'm not jobbing for this big steroid gas bag. So I'm gonna
No! How dare you insult Sparky Plug?
Yes, I will insult Sparky Plug, but no, Holly
the greatest of all time, motherfucker.
He likes to beat people up. I mean, he's a little man, probably has a 3-inch dick, and he likes to prove himself to be tough. So he decided, I'm going to make Mr. Big Strong Guy look weak because he's not going to be able to pick me up. Well, Bob, he can pick you up.
Listen, if you think a guy who held the tag team championship with the 1-2-3 Kid in 1995 should be doing a job for Brock Lesnar, you got another thing coming, buddy.
By the way, speaking of the 1-2-3 Kid, he was back in action this weekend. Sean Waltman appeared in the gimmick at Shikara's King of Trios.
Shikara likes to do that kind of funny, bizarre shit. I don't even get the company. Is it like a comedy company or what? But they like to do that, so I'm not surprised they asked him to do that.
Yeah. Well, apparently, like, the people went nuts for it. They loved it, and they were even chanting, "Don't come back." No, they were chanting, "Please come back."
They loved it so much they were chanting, "Don't come back."
I'm sorry. I don't want to.
Hope he was a heel.
That was me screwing up. That was me being an idiot. They chanted, "Please come back."
That was your Bob Holly moment.
Yeah, that was my Bob Holly moment. But apparently even Waltman left a note backstage, like really putting over the company and calling them the future of wrestling. So,
well, Sean's a good guy. I really like Sean Waltman, and you know what? I don't know. I don't think that company will be the future of wrestling by any means, but it's a fun product. I have basically everything they've done.
Isn't that where Dragon showed up?
Yeah.
Which,
they also used to have that. They used to also have a tag team, and you'll love this, Patrick. And it is every bit as insane as it sounds. Their tag team for the longest time was Al Snow paired with Glacier.
Oh, wow.
So if you can imagine how those two would work together and what kind of stuff they'd pull.
Well, that was a one-time thing.
They worked a couple shows together.
Right.
I have at least two.
It was kind of over a weekend. It was over that King of Trios weekend last year where they were going to team with a guy named Iceberg. And apparently Iceberg missed his flight. So they were like...
So are you telling me that Iceberg let us down?
Yes. But, yeah, so then they want...
Play on words.
They teamed with D-Lo, which is actually a pretty cool moment because who doesn't love D-Lo?
Draws doesn't. That's who doesn't love D-Lo.
Oh! And we're back to the dark place. I tried to have some fun talking about the wacky world of Shikara, and James goes there.
Apparently,
to be honest,
Droz said in a shoot interview that it wasn't D'Lo's fault. What happened?
It was an accident. It could have happened. It was, a fluke.
No, wasn't it like one, there was like a slick spot in the ring, and two, Droz was wearing like a sweatshirt that kind of like, that's what D'Lo held on to instead of like Droz himself, or?
I don't know what he was wearing or anything like that. I do know that it was a running power bomb, like a Liger bomb, and it went wrong. So,
yeah.
Well, the match never aired on TV, thank God. That was a classy decision.
Wasn't it a house show, or was it a TV taping?
No, it was a SmackDown taping.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
I'm glad they didn't air it then.
It might have been a dark match before the SmackDown taping.
No, I remember that because they showed there was a Sunday Night Heat match between the Big Show and the Big Boss Man or something like that, and they put that match in its place.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
By the way,
I think that's
speaking
how
of the Big Boss Man, and getting back to a little bit to TNA, do you not think that Bubba is an exact body-shaped double of Big Boss Man right now? He's in the same kind of shape, which is kind of concerning because, well, I mean, let's be honest, Boss Man didn't live past 41.
Yeah, well, I'll be honest. I mean, I was about to make a back joke there, but yeah. I mean, I agree with you. If there's one guy in TNA that needs to start cutting weight, it's Brother Ray or Bully Ray.
You know, I saw the pre-show lockdown. Devon's really ballooned up too.
Now, I think part of that just has to do with getting older. You know, because guys get older, their metabolisms change, and they stop working out.
I'm going the opposite way. I'm starting to work out more often, and I kind of like it. So,
how did Ric Flair look?
Ric Flair looked like a trailer park version of himself.
Yeah. Rick, you actually like this? Rick actually wrestled in like his trousers and a tank top, so he kept the man boobs covered.
That's good.
He wore a black wife beater like the Undertaker used to wear, which, unless you're physically fit, makes you look like trailer trash. I'm sorry, that's the truth.
Yeah. Which I think I know where WWE got their idea for the Morrison R-Truth water bottle spot. Because during that Lethal Lockdown match, they had a pretty cool spot where James Storm just broke a beer bottle over Ric Flair's head.
So the PG version of that would be a plastic water bottle.
Exactly.
Which, by the way, I don't know if we've talked about this on the show, but WWE no longer stands for World Wrestling Entertainment. It is now just WWE.
So what does the W stand for? Why, it stands for W, of course.
Yeah,
exactly.
Which, by the way, so I guess from now on, that big show they have late March, early April is just WWE Mania.
God, I hope they don't.
Sports Entertainia.
Oh.
God.
I'm going to say this right now. The problem that WWE has is that they always, there have been people in that company, one of whom is named McMahon, and he has a big pompadour, is ashamed to be a wrestling promoter. So he'll try to say to everyone that will listen to him, no, I'm not a wrestling promoter. See, a wrestling promoter promotes shows in little smoky bars, and that's all they ever ran. I don't know who Bruno Sammartino is. But, I took wrestling to the next level, and now it's sports entertainment.
Yeah, wow. Here's my problem.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, no one else goes along with that. The only people that say the WWE is not wrestling are the WWE.
Yeah. Right, and they get pissy with people. When the newscasters do reports calling it, and wrestling had a big night tonight, they send legal letters. We're no longer a wrestling company. We are a sports entertainment company. Our performance...
And it just opens up the door for them to get made fun of.
Yes. But, yeah, did you guys read that story? I think it was like there was some, TV news, TV blog or whatever, where they were talking about the return of Tough Enough, and one of the people for WWE sent a note. They got posted online. This is not wrestling. We are no longer wrestling. They are superstars. We produce movies and TV shows and yada yada yada. Yes, but at the end of the day, there's a point where at some point, no matter how much you hate to admit it, you have to get in that ring and do that action, which is classified as wrestling.
Right, and what is Tough Enough? What do they ask these guys? And unfortunately, they are saying WWE superstars. But in the old version of Tough Enough, which I never really watched, but my wife has me watching a little bit of now, because we have the first several seasons of it, whatever there was, 2 or 3, before they did the SmackDown show. But we were watching it, and it was like, I've always wanted to be a wrestler. No, you can't be a wrestler anymore. You got to be a sports entertainer.
I want to ask those 2 guys on Monday Night Raw when Austin paraded all the Tough Enough kids out there. Those 2 guys on Raw that said, we want to learn how to wrestle. Have they been eliminated yet?
Well, they eliminated the one, there are 2 people on that whole show that actually had prior wrestling knowledge, or actually had worked as wrestlers. One was Matt Cross. The other is
Dog 20, yeah.
Matt Cross, more known as Dog 20. Guess who got eliminated in the second week? Matt Cross, because, quote, he couldn't impress Trish Stratus because he wasn't apparently loud and arrogant enough.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
he kind of... When you went to school, was there ever a kid you went to school with who referred to the class more as below him and acted almost as if he was on par with the teacher and the teacher's pet and a real, like, piece of shit that just was an arrogant little son of a bitch? That's what he came off as on this show. He came off with, like he was critiquing the other guys, and it's like, dude, you know, I like you. I honestly do. You know, you work Pro Wrestling Ohio. I watch that product. You used to work ROH, and you're a good worker. Don't go on a show, which is the only time so far you've been on national television, and act like a total ass monkey.
Well, wait, you're telling me you don't count as Sid in Wrestling Society X?
Oh, yeah, I stand corrected. He's been on a real long-running wrestling show before.
That people said was going to be... Basically, the fate of Wrestling Society X is what people said was going to happen to TNA.
God, I think it was. I can't confirm for sure if anyone actually wrote this, but like I have like that thing. Someone actually bought that for me on DVD, like the complete series of Wrestling Society X. There is like a section in there, and like one of the creators said something like that the first match was between like Matt Sydal, now Evan Bourne, and Jack Evans, quote, made TNA completely obsolete. I don't know who wrote that, but if you did, I'll put a fucking nail through your eye because you're clearly not using them.
It's just stupid. I mean, to be honest with you, the wheels are a little bit off the wagon with TNA, and that's another discussion for another day, and they need to re-identify what exactly they are. And I think Patrick would agree with that because he's not even really watching as much. But that doesn't, and that's not me being. Here's the thing: everybody has rhetoric that comes along with any kind of criticism. They criticize TNA because they're either a WWE or ROH fan, or they criticize the WWE because they're an ROH or TNA fan. I like all three companies, and I just think that they all have fucking problems right now.
Oh, James, James, you have something very wrong there. ROH fans don't criticize WWE. They're the fucking ECW fans that you say, yeah, hey, so-and-so got signed by the WWE. It's like, yay, hey, that's great. Oh, hey, so-and-so got to try out with TNA. Those motherfuckers are trying to kill him. God damn them all to hell. Fuck you, Dixie. ROH fans, I'm gonna write most of you off. Shut up. Your company is starting to suck. Fire Jim Cornette and sell the company to Gabe, because he's the one guy that could save this constantly downhill company that you're in, because you're so stuck. It couldn't be D-level MMA with Bobby Lashley getting gapped in one round, and yet you guys claim you're going to go on Versus.
It's just...
Yeah, well, they lost their TV deal, and I got to be honest, watching the product, the little bit of Ring of Honor that I have watched, I can totally... This is Jim Cornette's show, and it shows. The dude's all about work rate and long matches, and that's pretty much his only criteria, and that explains why Roderick Strong was champion for 5-6 months, because he has long matches that get high star rating. And that's the only justification you need to be a world heavyweight champion. And unfortunately, that doesn't work.
Yeah, and then they Sheamused Eddie Edwards, who's the current champion.
Yeah, he came out of nowhere.
Yeah, well, he's the guy you could see holding the belt someday. They said, well, someday is today. And even though it's basically the same thing they did at Tyler Black that they're doing now to Davey Richards, where Davey's ready. A lot of people want to see Davey win the belt, so they decide he's going to be the next challenger when his tag team partner wins it. It's like, you know, this is not a knock on Eddie Edwards. I'm just saying he's not ready yet. He's got a lot of talent, but don't confuse yourself into thinking that just because he is a great tag team partner, Davey Richards, that he should jump over Davey in terms of being the world champion. I mean, quite honestly, it's the equivalent of when Sheamus won the WWE title. And right now for Eddie, there's no place else to go but down in ROH. unless he gets signed by somebody else.